All right, greetings, everyone. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for a Guru. Thank you so much for joining us, as we always do. We just want to thank you all for the support. Thank you guys for everything. Kyle, you said it's 3 years?
3 years today, because I got a thing 2 days ago on Facebook saying you and Dynasty Amir are now 3 years, celebrating 3. I sent it to you. 3 years friendship. Facebook 3 years ago, because I remember a week after I did your first show, it was like April 5th or whatever. I was on my way to New York. Remember that? The whole time up, then I talked to Professor Davis all the way on the way back. Professor Davis, I talked to you on the way up. I talked to Professor Davis on the way back. That was April of 2018. 3 years.
Man, Kyle, time flies, man. It's crazy.
Time flies, man. We put in.
Kyle, it was crazy. This time last year, I was in the hospital with COVID.
Yeah, something like that, man. That was just amazing, man. I'm glad you pulled through, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Fabian. Shout out to brother Fabian. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Kyle. Shout out to brother Fabian, man. I want to recognize Fabian, man. Fabian, brother, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for everything, man. I really appreciate it, brother. But everyone, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Make sure, tour. We still got some spots. I would say we got probably 2 more spots. So I want everybody to be comfortable. So we got 1 or 2 more spots left on the tour to Sierra Leone. We're leaving April 19th out of Chicago, and then returning on the 29th. Sierra Leone, guys, come and join us for a trip of a lifetime. Everyone, come and join us for a trip of a lifetime. Also, Patreon, become a monthly Patreon, patreon.com, search for a Guru, patreon.com, search for a Guru. And like I said, my brother Fabian, thank you so much. Because Fabian has been this is the second tour Fabian is coming on. Fabian has bought shirts, books, coming on tours. Shout out to brother Fabian. So without further ado, me and Colin were talking this morning, and I was it came on my timeline. It was like 10 people shot in Virginia Beach. I'm like, golly, what's going on?
But the thing is, Black Lives Matter 757's down there with their big mouth, and they're in the press conference. No justice, no peace, because I guess one of the guys was shot by the police, right? So now they're trying to, instead, people forget about all the gunfire flying all over the place, people panicking and all that stuff like that. It all don't matter. But the whole thing is, let's talk about the police who's there as law enforcement to shoot and people. And that's another thing what I'll say about the fall of America. People don't know left from right, right from wrong, up from down, anything anymore, right? People are going to be talking more about the officer who shot the one person and saying that he's the wrong. Let's see whose bullet was shot, whatever. It doesn't matter. Why were people in the middle of a shootout? And Virginia Beach, I've been here for 30 years, has been one of the safest cities in America, one of the nicest places for Black Americans to move in. Middle class, clean communities, everything. We got everything. We got parks and recs. We got everything you need. Decent schools, everything, And the city is a clean city, but you have a lot of people that people moving here, from other parts, and they want to bring that nonsense in. Before we got bounced out, the people came here. Well, this is like a party town. Everybody want to come here to party. Everybody would come here to a thing. But now we live in, like I told you, we're living in the end times. And like I said, but nobody wants to talk about the underlying thing is, why can't black people get along? Why can't black people get along? And this is what we're going to have to think. Are we not going to have any more black concerts? Are we going to have a little more black large gatherings? Because these were college kids and everything. Just like we see in Miami right now. They're wrecking the city. The city's in a state of emergency.
Oh, man. Right. Yeah,
I mean, the bottom line is this. I believe, like I said, and I witnessed from like I said, when I went overseas, Colin, man, you only took one trip to Africa. You can't enjoy it. Look, I've seen enough, right? There's something fundamentally wrong with being black in America, right? I think just basically, no matter what we try to do, no matter how many social programs we try to put up there, there's something fundamentally wrong with the black soul in America. And the Black America is a long term. Don't mean, I said, let's put it like that, but our minds and everything have to get towards nationalism, black separatism, black power, black love, right? Perfect example is what's going on with this Roland Martin clown talking against this King Randall X. We're gonna berate a 21-year-old kid and say, you know something, I got another way. I'm gonna build our own thing. We're not gonna focus on voting and all stuff because it got us nowhere. Your ancestors fought for you to vote. Yeah, but it hasn't gotten us any place. You know, why don't we focus on this? No, you vote. So this for, like I said, this and I'm not telling anybody not to vote. You know, I'm not saying you do what you want to do. You know, you do what you want to get. You do what you want to do, and like that. But I'm saying is the whole thing is the gimmick that they're pulling on black people, right? We see the whole thing is this: in order for America to have legitimacy, right, they need the people who are the most victimized by America, right, out in front, being the defenders of America, which is black people. You know, think about that. No other group of people have been out there. Civil rights. We changed America, the course of America. Where's the Chinese version of Martin Luther King? Right? Where's the Indian version of Thurgood Marshall? Where are all these other people that put their life and everything online propping up America? Why is it always us? What is it about African Americans that they need so much? Why? It's simple. It's simple as this. If you can get the people who were the most neglected defending America, then America's secure. But once black African Americans say, you know something, we're gonna stop participating, you know, in American culture, right? We're gonna stop showing up to the Grammys. We're gonna stop showing up to your award shows. You know, we're gonna be looking at other things. We don't care about that, right? You know, and the bottom line, many black people do that, right? But it doesn't matter because they're gonna browbeat you into submission. You know, and black people are so scared of being the oddball. Oh, you mean tell me you didn't you don't know who won the Grammy? No. You mean tell me you don't know who's in the finals in the NBA finals? No. Oh, you mean tell me you don't know, you don't have a football team? No. You know, these are things they do to make sure that you're involved in America. And what that does is this: if you're so involved in America, and you're not focused on Africa, you're not focused on the future. And that's exactly what they do. You don't know, you don't care. Now they got to the point where it's like, okay, we see y'all focus on Africa, so let's bring Burna Boy in and give him a Grammy. See, you see how they weave you in,
right?
We'll bring Burna Boy in. You know, granted, next thing you know, you're gonna see, oh wow, Afrocentricity. Y'all into Afrocentricity? Okay, we're gonna bring that, somehow tie that into the so-called America thing.
Right.
You know, like that. I sent you a thing, Diane, last week, which shows you the people behind most of the top so-called black shows.
Right. Not one blackface. Not one blackface.
I said that the movie, the TV show, The Godfather, you know, of Harlem, right? I said I wasn't feeling that. You know, it was Color Finds a Chinese girl that created it. You know, all these things, Black Lightning, all these things like that are white creators and everything. And what they do is they get you as black. We're victims. Black America is victims. You know, we're victims. They know we're victims of low self-esteem. You know, oh, we got to come up with a black superhero. Oh, we got to come up with this. You know, you see the new commercial, the Cadillac commercial with Tamika Mallory, right? Black women are going to save this country and whatnot, you know? And people are like, where's the black men at? You know, black women are strong. Right? This is the myth of the strong black woman, you know? You know, basically what they're saying is the myth is black men ain't shit. You know, black women are just so strong, and they're gonna save the world. They're gonna save everything. They're just the moral compass of America and everything, which is not true. You know, one bit. You know, this is not. There's nothing. But the bottom line is this: people, and they know black people, Asian people, and everybody, they'll benefit from whatever little crumbs they give you, right? The only group of people, demographic they don't give any sort of crumb to, and they want outright to crush is the African American male. Right. You know, they don't give us any leeway. You know, I mean, you got some buffoons out there, but there's nothing. They say nothing good about that. There was a report that came out last year saying African American males, 10% of African American males are in the top income brackets in America. But that's not blasted all over. They said unbelievable. They said, how did that happen? Well, a lot of African American males are in the building trades. They're contractors. They're builders. They're in the real estate. They own businesses and everything. They have startups and everything. Very successful. And so when they look at the income of a lot of Black African American men, and I see it myself. I just told you today, right now, right next to my office, right, a new Black-owned trucking company just opened up, a trucking dispatch company. Black-owned brothers. And so I see brothers making money as builders, as stuff like that, making millions of dollars a year, and as contractors. Those things that Black females just don't do. That's where the money's at, trucking and stuff like that. Things we don't do. So the bottom line is this: do you think people will say, something? Black males are succeeding here and there? No, because the bottom line is they want you always down and out. So you doubt yourself. You doubt you can do anything else besides what they give you. And my whole thing is this: if we can build here in America, we can build anywhere. That's my whole thing. If you don't believe that you could build in America, that you got nothing going in America, right? Then basically you're not going to think about going out. But if you say, something, we got Black men who lay pipelines down. What, really? We got Black men who know railway engineering and stuff like that. You really? Are you kidding me? Yeah. And right now in Liberia, I got so many Black brothers, not just Liberians, but African Americans, who are retired civil engineers and stuff like that in cities like Philadelphia and stuff like that, and Rhode Island, who are going to places like in West Africa and basically bringing the blueprints and saying, something, this is the proper way how to build a drainage system, learning skills. This when you have that sort of knowledge and everything, you don't need the Chinese, for which you see what's going on in Gambia right now, right? The Gambian youth took matters into their own hands, and they're driving the Chinese out. The uprootedness of the saying that I don't care how many. That's a message that needs to be sent throughout Africa. You can make all these deals and everything like that, but we're going to punish you and everything. Ultimate power is with the people. If there's something going on in your village, whatever like that you're not benefiting from, and you got a foreign entity misusing you and everything, you don't want them there, then you got a right to kick them out. As simple as that. Our enemies have tried their best to focus on Art Cathy, ES, the Bag family, and even though people got their issues with the Bag, whatever like that, but we still support what they're doing over there, right? And they thought that there was going to be this uprising against the Bag family and all these African Americans in the Gambia. And guess what? The Gambian youth looked at it and said, I think we're going to be angry with somebody. Let's take it out on the Chinese. See, you got to say, China, that wasn't supposed to happen. What was supposed to happen is a bunch of Gambian youth supposed to storm the Bag compound and rip stuff up with that. And that didn't happen. So what I'm telling you is that we're winning. The momentum is on our side. Our enemies can talk all they want, but we're winning. All the work we've done on this platform for 3 years is starting to resonate.
It's been 3 years, Colin.
3 years. 3 years. I am the most frequent guest on this show for 3 years. Nobody's been on the show except for not even Fitzgerald. I've been on the show probably featured more times than any other guest on the show on Search for Uhuru. I'm not bragging or nothing like that, but we were really pushing a narrative, and our story and our ideology has gotten out there, And so, like I said, this has been some journey, and I'm proud to be able. And it's all about consistency, folks. If you're consistent with something and you really believe something, my message has been the same, consistent for 3 years. I've evolved on certain things and I tweaked certain things, but I've been consistent for 3 years, right? So when somebody comes up to you and says, Colin said this, or no, I never said that, because my message has always been consistent. So if somebody comes and say, well, I never heard him say that, right? Because I probably didn't. So you can't go out there and lie and put words in my mouth, twist what I'm saying, think you're going to work. You think you're going to do it, it's not going to work, right? My message has been consistent from day one. Black people in America need an African plan, right? Ultimately, I believe that ultimately it's going to evolve into, maybe not even our lifetime, an independent state on the African continent. That's what's going to happen, because I believe these global empires, the British, the French, and all these people are going to collapse, and a power vacuum is going to happen. So right now it's Europe and America.
When do you see that? When do you see that happening? Because people keep saying the fall of America, the fall of the West. The nation of Islam was like the 400 years up, and it's past 400 years now.
no diss against the Nation of Islam, but they didn't know what they were talking about, right? You know, what I see right now, right, is America is crumbling from within, right? You look at China, look what just happened with China, right? Now, the whole time on MSNBC, you got commentators saying how racist white supremacy America is, right? Racist white supremacy, America's racist, probably like that. They use George Floyd, they use all stuff like that. So basically, what they were basically, you have Americans, major media, condemning America as a inherently racist people with the critical race theory and stuff like that, right? America's enemies, right, are saying, you know, you said it yourself, you're racist, right? So what happens is America has no immune system to fight that. And so Southern America being like, well, we're racist, but there's no but. You basically was saying that this racism was so systemic. That's why Trump got elected, right? So you believe that, right, for political reasons. Now it's out there. Now you can't tell anybody anything. You can't preach to China or any of the repressive regimes because you said your country was repressive. And so what happens is this. America is losing its credibility and legitimacy, right? What is a country? What is a republic? A republic has borders, defined borders. When you step on this line, you're in this republic. It has a language, right? A particular language, right? English. And it has a culture, right? There's black culture here, but American culture is pretty much the same. You talk to any a person, white or black, and they'll laugh at the same jokes. Well, a foreigner wouldn't get it. You know, foreigner, whites and blacks could listen to a comedian and chuckle, right? Someone who's not acclimated to American culture wouldn't understand it. That's culture, right? That's a culture. So we have pop culture. Black music is part of pop culture. You know, we black white people watch the same superheroes, sports, and read the same novels. We read the same novels growing up and stuff like that. So we have the same thing. If when Pepe Le Pew. What? Pepe Le Pew? Everybody knew Pepe was. Bugs Bunny? Oh, yeah. Bugs Bunny. That's what I mean by culture, you know? Well, when people say Dr. Seuss, everyone knew who Dr. Seuss is, right? Oh, that's Dr. Seuss, the Cat in the Hat. You know, I will not eat green eggs and ham, Sam I am. I will not eat them on the bus. I will not eat them in a car. I will not read them anywhere, Sam I am. Everyone knows that's culture. Culture is something that you don't have to do. You don't conscious. It's unconscious, right? It's in your subconscious. It's something you know. Someone just start talking to you a rhyme, right? And you know what he's doing. Okay, he's rapping, whatever like that. You know, that's culture. It's culture. But what you have is like people coming across the country, right? Who are not going to assimilate, have no intention of assimilating, have no intention of learning the language and everything. So therefore, and they're also saying that they have a right to be here and a thing. Now you ask yourself this, Diane, when you get ready to go to Sierra Leone, right? You got to take a COVID test, right? You got to take a COVID test, and then if you catch COVID over there, you ain't coming back, right? But you have the country is so weak right now, right? That people could come across the border with no COVID test, right? It packed in a thing because they have a right. America, in other words, America has no ability to say no. You can't come across this border. You go across any other countries are stronger. Try going across the border in North Korea. See what happens. You know, go across the border in China and see what happens. You'll be in a labor camp for 10 years. North Korea probably put you in hard labor camp. But America, you got people, congressmen and senators and news people breaking the law, aiding and abetting people coming across the border. So what I'm telling you, there's no way this could say. What happens is this. Once America does this, right, it no longer is ruled by fiat. It no longer has the legitimacy of the people. Because when I got my driver's license, Dynas, right? I remember I couldn't wait. I got my driver's license in 1986. So I was in high school, right? And I said to myself, "Damn, Carl's old." I was 1986. I was 4 years old. Check this out. Check this out. I basically, it said, first thing on the page, right? When you open the book, right? It said driving is a what? A privilege.
Right.
Not a right. You know, driving is a privilege. But the corrupt mafia governor, Andrew Cuomo, gave illegal aliens a right to own a driver's license. It's a right. When you're not a citizen and you're here illegally, you have rights. You know, you come across the border illegally, you have a right not to take a COVID test or wear a mask. You see what I'm saying? How can it happen? You're going to tell me, Dynas, this is going to last 20 years? No. before this country. People forget all these same things right now, right? That you see on the border and the COVID, the lockdowns, all stuff like that. This is the same sort of situation that led to the Civil War, when people just are completely polarized and they can't see eye to eye, right? And when they can't see eye to eye and get stuff done, like, let me give you an example. Republicans are hypocrites and Democrats are hypocrites, right? The Republicans want Republican enthusiast laws enforced in like sanctuary cities. They don't want sanctuary cities inside blue states, right? Okay, that's it. So blue states say, screw you, we're gonna allow people to stay here in sanctuary cities, right?
Right.
At the same time, the Democrats do the same thing. You know, they don't want the Republicans enforcing the laws in their states. Republicans say, hey, wait a minute here. We're going to open our country up, our state up. We're not going to do this, right? The Democrat states are saying, no, you're going to put, remember that when the early days, they were saying that the Republican states were going to put everybody at risk. And come to find out, the Democrat states with all lockdowns had the highest cases. Right. So in other words, when states can't agree and stuff like that, and who's responsible, and you let somebody in through Texas, or he gets to Texas, and he makes it up to, let's say, what's a red state? What's a totally red state? It's not that many. Let's say
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's a red state, right? And then next thing you know, somebody in Oklahoma says, "What are you doing here?" "Oh, I don't know. I came across the people at the border control let me through and everything like that. You know, I'm trying to make it to San Diego or San Francisco, right?" And then the city of San Francisco is suing Oklahoma to get those people in there. The Oklahoma people got the law on their side, right? And because of so-called humanitarian aid, these people in San Francisco is basically saying we're going to circumvent the law, like Joe Biden. He says that I'm not going to send any kids back. That's basically telling the cartels, keep sending them over. The law, he basically says, I'm not going to enforce the law. I'm not going to enforce the law. I'm not going to enforce this stuff, right? So this is what I'm saying is, if a president says he's not going to enforce the law, the chief executive of the Constitution enforce the law, if he's not going to do that, right, what's going to happen is the next administration is going to do the same thing. And it's going to say, well, I'm not going to choose not to enforce these laws. And you can't have that. You got to have, the law has to be impartial. You know, you have to, the duty of the president as elected say, I uphold the Constitution, I'm going to enforce the laws of America. But he's saying that, well, I got a bigger agenda, which is a New World Order globalist. The New World Order globalist believes there should be no borders. There should be no thing, because borders are inherently racist. You know, it's not people's fault because they're poor. I look at this thing, and I feel bad for these people in Central America, right? And I know a lot of it has to do with American policy and everything, but I mean, what do? Millions of people are about to flood into this country, Dinas, right? And they're going to be taking up residence in low-income Black areas, and they're going to be competing with Black people for housing. Already right now, they're ransacking places in Arizona, going through people's houses. People are waking up and whatnot, finding people in the refrigerator eating food, you know, at the table, you know, people eating out of their people's dog dishes and whatnot, drinking, you know what I'm saying, or water. And they said, so for them to stop drinking out of their dog's water bowl, people putting out water for these migrants coming. It's a mess. There's no way you can tell me. And then when the foreign people say America, I mean, what is America if basically you're not protected by a border? You have nothing. You know, it's a country that really does this. I said this for years, and I've been saying this, and I always said this. America is a myth. It doesn't exist. The only thing America exists is through the media and propaganda. It's a myth, you know. And the bottom line is this: I believe your state where you live at is more real than the place we think is called America. You know, I believe Virginia's real because when I step outside, man, there's a Virginia State Police, right? And they'll hem you up, right? But tell me, oh, America's real now. Why? Because the stimulus check. You know, people get that stimulus check. Oh, it's real. You know, it's only real when you get something. And so the bottom line is, okay, they'll give you a stimulus check and stuff like that. So America has to keep its legitimacy up by throwing you out crumbs and favors. But I don't think this is sustainable. Because I do believe America is on its way out. You know, you look at the culture. We was looking at the Grammys. You know, we look at all these other stuff like that. You know, the culture of America is not keeping up with, you know, anything standard. Look at the military. It's more important to have a transgender and diversity and women in special forces, while other people around the world are building militaries like you won't believe. America, Barack Obama, I think it was the Secretary of the Navy, whatever. I don't know what it was a transgender. And not only that, the number one thing in the military now is let soldiers that come in have gender reassignment. Now, Dynas, can you tell me how this is going to, you know, all it's going to take is one spark. I'm telling you, you won't believe this. All it's going to take is one spark, one major riot in America where they can't get a hold to it and everything, and the police abandon this. You saw it happen in Minneapolis. Where the police
happened in Oregon, in Portland.
Yeah, look, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know, that's what I'm talking about. So you basically like this. There's no way in the world this is going to think. When the people lose fear and respect for the state, and there's no state and everything, anything goes. America's falling apart, folks. People are succeeding. You got whole sections of Portland, Oregon, succeeding from the city, and the city can't do nothing about it. This is what you're basing your future on, your children's future on. It's falling apart. This country is It's dying. It's dying a slow death. You know, it's happening right before our eyes because America doesn't have any moral has a moral conundrum. It's called a moral conundrum. It's like, well, geez, you know, the main thing is when you have a moral conundrum is this: you have to basically say, okay, yes, America said yes, we're absolutely wrong about slavery. Okay. We're going to do everything we can. The first people after the civil rights, we're going to take care is Black America. No matter what it costs us, whatever, we're going to basically take care of Black America. We're going to make sure that we're going to discredit Black nationals. They never did that. They try to pull our card and everything. And the bottom line, there's always going to be Black nationalist movements here, basically saying America is a racist country, whatever like that. Let's get the fuck out and go back there. There's always going to be people like us around, you know?
One second, Colin. Guys, make sure you hit that like button again. We have almost 200 people watching. Please hit the like button. If you're not hit the like button, please hit the like button. Also, we will open up the lines here in about, we'll say, 10 minutes. So if you want to call in and ask a question, email is ahuru@searchforahuru.com, ahuru@searchforahuru.com. Send the email, and you are more than welcome to call in and ask your question. Again,
remember the topic is the fall of America. Do you believe there's a future in America? Do you believe America is on its last days? And if you're not, then why are you Negroes out here partying and now don't have a plan? You know, that's the question I want to ask. Yeah, I believe that. So what are you gonna do? Party until it's all over? That's the Negroes I can't stand. I do believe America the coming thing. If you don't think about yourself, your dusty ass self, dusty Negroes only think about themselves, right? What about your kids? What about the future generations, right? Every race of people, group of people need a sense of continuity. You know, I see that with white men all the time, right? You know, they just say, yeah, I want to see my son. I'm setting up my son for this college plan. My son's going to take over this. You know, I'm saying, you never see black men. Black men, I said, what's going to happen in your business? I don't know, you know. Well, don't want you to diagnose with something or not? Yeah, well, you know, he got to get out there and earn like I did and whatnot, you know. Why don't you give it to your son and whatnot, you know? There's no.
I want to set the record straight on something. BB, you do not have to get a malaria shot. That's not mandatory. Yellow fever only if you're traveling in between African countries, but now because of COVID, they're not even checking for yellow fever. So I just wanted to say that. But yeah, you do have to get a COVID test. And no, you don't have to quarantine. There's no mandatory quarantine unless you test positive for COVID test once you arrive. So go ahead, Colin.
Yeah, what they're trying to do now with the Biden and Bill Gates on, they're trying to make it so that you got to travel with a COVID, you got to get a COVID test book, you know, all 2 shots or whatever like that to get a passport. That's what they're trying to do now. In the future, in the whole COVID racket, it's all about controlling people and regulating people and regulate. But think about this, man. We came on 2020, man. we had so much momentum with this thing. 2020, everything was going good. Remember that? And this COVID thing. I was like, God damn, the whole everything, the world as we knew changed. The world as we knew changed, in 2020. And so the bottom line is this, and travel and stuff like this. And like I said, the bottom line is this is not going to discourage us. And like I said, the bottom line is Black America is becoming more and more global and international, right? And so the same Black America.
For the wrong things. I mean, Lil Nas X, Satan, Nike, Satan, Nike, Satan.
Yeah. Yes, it's the bottom line is this is our culture. This is what I'm saying. Now, let me ask you a question. One thing I knew, and there was a comedian said this years ago, right? I said, y'all can blame everything else, but one thing Black people don't do is play with the devil.
Right.
So whoever doing this or whoever's buying this stuff, it ain't Black people.
No, Lil Nas X is definitely a Black man.
He's Black, but who's his audience? His audience.
His audience is color. When that song came out, that Old Country Road, whatever it's called. Yeah. My son, when he graduated from kindergarten, they performed that song. Him and his classmates. Like kids love that song.
Yeah, kids, little white
absolutely love that song.
Like that, the main suburbia is like a dumping ground for Black garbage and Black pathology. They eat it up. I can never understand this. Why it's like I don't understand. It's like cannibalism in white America, right? They eat the most vile. I saw this years ago, back in 1999. I was in Florida, Polk County, Florida. That year I went to Disney, Epcot Center, and all the stuff like that, right? Well, I was in this mall back then, right? And this was when the rapper Eminem just first came out, right? And so I'm in this mall, right? And I'm seeing all these white, blonde, blue-eyed Floridians, right? And I'm sitting there saying, okay, I thought they were going to be in there for Eminem. And basically, there were rappers. I said this before. There were rappers. The mothers were buying them this. This is such and such new tape or not. Thug, Killer, this and everything. I'm like,
yeah.
Who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
All white. They were just picking up
this majority of it. Yeah.
And I said to myself, who the fuck is this? I said people I never heard of. At the time, who was popular? Ja Rule, DMX, Jay-Z, stuff like that, And I'm sitting there seeing this vile motherfuckers with satanic shit on there, thug tattoo, and all stuff like that. And I said, yeah. And you got these little white kids buying this stuff when their parents buying them all this vile stuff. And I'm saying to myself, I said that back in '99. And I said to myself, you got Black so-called music being marketed directly to white middle suburbia, because why? Because they don't want to purchase. Forget at the same time, right? The GZA's album, right? Liquid Swords, right? Classic, right? That just went platinum 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what I'm mad about? So last year they had the Purple Tape. They had like a commemorative anniversary set. Like you got a book, you got the actual Purple tape. And man, I'm mad I didn't buy it. That thing is going for like $500 now.
What artist was that?
Raekwon, the Purple Tape. Raekwon, only good for Cuban Links.
Oh, Cuban Links. Okay, yeah. Only Bill. Oh, yeah, I remember Only Bill for Cuban. I love that album when it came out in '95.
That's like one of the hottest albums ever.
That was the best album. That was the best.
That's the best album to come out of the East Coast. People say Nas, but I'm like that Raekwon album was. Ooh.
Yo, that Raekwon, that Incarcerated Scarfaces, Ice White, that Nas, there was not even any close. I knew Nas DJ LES. He was not even. I know LES. He ain't nothing. Yo, RZA. And that shit, that album right there was New York City, Staten Island, Brooklyn. And that album was a time period, right? That Only Built for Cuban Links was just the shit. Then a year later, follow it with Iron Man, Ghostface's Iron Man. Oh my God, that's when we had Black music. And bottom line, it was a 99% Black audience, that Black hip hop audience, And the bottom line is this: white people always talk about, oh yeah, the Wu-Tang and that, but they weren't supporting Wu-Tang like that. Why? Because the Wu-Tang weren't talking about murdering other Black people. They weren't talking about. They were talking about drug dealing, and I get that, Ice Ward and everything. But they don't want to hear that, man. That's not even about drugs and everything. It's all about white people like instigating a problem. I saw this one video where this white guy asked
hold on, Crypto Black. Nah, hold on. I'm gonna show you guys the greatest album of all time. Hold on, let me share this.
what did Crypto say?
Talk about the Nas album, man. Nah.
Man,
This is
get out of here, Crypto, man. Come on with that corny shit, man. Come on, Crypto.
This is the greatest album of all time, right here.
Only built for Cuban Link.
Yes, this goddamn Purple Tape, man. The greatest album out of the East Coast of all. The greatest album out of the East Coast of all time is Purple Tape, right here. And I'm so mad I did not buy this commemorative set, this 20th anniversary Purple Tape watch box. I'm mad I did not buy it. I'm so mad I didn't buy it. Now I think it's going for like $200. It was only $60 on the site. I'm mad I didn't buy it last year.
Did he say Nas I Am? That was a corny freaking album. Nas I Am. You know, no, Nas I Am. That was it. You know, then Nostradamus. I mean, Nas was good, but he wasn't no Raekwon. Only thing I would give Nas is he has more consistent albums, right? Raekwon, that was Cuban Links, and that was just it. I was like, Ray, what the fuck happened, man? You know? Now Nas has more albums, you know, I give him that, but nothing could top that Cuban Link album. If you're a real hip hop head, if you know real hip hop music, whatnot, if you're a real hip hop head, some people aren't really hip hop heads, you know, and they don't know the difference, you know. But you know, but you know, so they'll be, oh, Nas, because you see Nas on TV more, you know, people see Nas on TV more, and they assume that he's because now he's a billionaire, Nas is real rich, whatever, he's more successful. People judge it by that, but you know, Raekwon, Ray and Ghost, RZA, that was the thing. But back to this, man. The bottom line is this: I don't know. What I don't understand is this. This is what I understand, Dynas, right? Why are white people seem like they're on a suicide mission, right? And so they're trying to bring America down, right? It's white people that's behind all this, right? The white liberals and everything. They want to bring America down, right? I don't know what it is. They want to bring this country down. They want to flood this country, open the borders up wherever, like drugs, crime, the very worst music, everything like that is just falling apart. And the bottom line is this: I'm like saying, maybe because they live in their gated communities and everything, but to Black America, right? The culture of Black America, and what I hate the fact is that Black America is still influenced by what white people think of us, what white people do for us and everything. We never built an independent community because we cannot stay out of their award shows. We cannot stay off their television sets. And look at Beyonce. She has more Grammys than anybody else. Who the fuck cares? You know, how many? Am I missing something here? Who the hell cares about the Grammys? Who the hell cares about the Oscars? I mean, maybe because I've been so withdrawn from America and everything, because I think America's the whole awards, everything is bullshit. You know, I know it's all propaganda. I know I can see propaganda. When people are intelligent, they can see what you're trying to go to. You know, what the hell? Why the hell do we care? The question I want to know is that. And then what gets me is, why do we have conscious Black people, right, participating in American culture like that? You know, I mean, especially we supposed to have our own media platforms. We could tune them out, right? But we always with our big bug eyes, right? Yo, Oscars so white. Yo, you see such and such at the Global Awards? That's right. We just had a Global Awards too, right? Didn't we? You know. Oh yeah, you know. I don't know. Chat room. Didn't we just have a Global Awards a couple months ago? And they was talking about, oh, we need more Black diversity. I don't know what and know this thing about diversity. You know, we need more diversity. Basically, what it means is we need to buy into America and give America more power over us, right? We don't want to go to the Pan-African Film Awards and everything. And basically, Wesley Snipes said we should build a Tyler Perry studio.
In Nigeria, in Africa.
Why is nobody getting around that? I see you know something? For years, I always said, oh, I blame Will Smith. Now I'm not gonna throw shade. I love Will Smith and everything, but I look at Jada and his family, his kids and everything. Now I see why Will Smith ever did it. His family's dysfunctional. You know, maybe we're looking at the wrong people. But Wesley Snipes could make a comeback. You know, when Wesley Snipes said that, I said, okay, we might have somebody. That would be a game changer. Can you imagine us making our own Marvel type movies on the continent, telling our stories? and stuff like that, and building stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. But the whole thing is nobody wants to see the inevitable. The inevitable is America's falling. America's culture, everything about America is falling. It's dying. And only people that believe in America seems that still enthusiastic about America is black people. Black people. Now they talk about, this is progress. I think what's this guy? Michael B. Jordan should be the next Superman.
Right.
I'm like, dude. Okay. Let's say let's why can't you create your own black superheroes? Why do you have to go like that? We want a black Superman. I think somebody even said, well, we are forgetting. Okay, in the Wonder Woman series, you got Nubia, right? Nubia, right? Black woman. No, right. Wonder Woman has to be actually black. That's making it hard. What that's doing is trivializing who we are as a race. Then they're talking about making Black Panther blonde hair, blue eyed. In other words,
I read somewhere it's like a Hispanic guy they're trying to.
Yeah, that's what I said. There was one guy, a light skinned guy, that they try to make, but there was actually somebody proposing that the Black Panther returns a white guy. And basically, what they're trying to do is all the as society. Let me say something right now. I'm gonna say something controversial, and a lot of people are not gonna like what I say. Every society, Black America used to have borders and boundaries, right?
Right.
That kept us sustained. While we're gonna be in America, we got borders and boundaries. Let me give you a perfect example, right? When I was in 3rd grade, right, my uncle told me, son, I heard you like a white. I said this the other night. Sure. I said, I heard you like a white girl in school. Yeah. Don't do it, son. He's coming from the South. He said, don't do it. It's black, it is white. You stay on your side. We don't date them, But uncle, no, son. No. You stay away. You don't do that. We don't do that. Black or white, you find yourself a black girlfriend, black girls. Ever since then, 3rd grade, all I was basically holding hands with black girls, I only let black girls kiss me, on the cheek, which is black girls. Bottom line is this. He said that because when he grew up in the South, he was telling me something and all of a sudden, the most successful black communities are the ones that keep those norms. I remember this movie. I forgot the name of the movie. Right? It was in Baltimore in the 60s. Right? This black guy comes in and his daughter had a white boy on him. Right? He just told her, "Look, I don't let my daughters date white men." He was a successful black man. In Baltimore. I forgot the name of this movie. What was it called? Soapbox? I forgot the name of the movie. But it was basically, he was just like, look, we don't do that. We don't mix. And those black people out there that basically say, look, we're on our side, everything. They built successful communities, staying separate, staying like that, What people want to do is basically, we understand we have mixed race people in our families. We understand that, right? But what they want to do is every commercial you see right now, what do you see? You see a black girl Googling over some goofy. They always get the goofiest looking nerd white guy. That's a dream of a black woman. Some nerd looking, goofy looking white guy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, isn't that so cute? Yeah, as my girlfriend and whatnot. And then you have some black girl with her big Waterman spot cheese and with her white teeth and whatnot. They don't even put the proper lighting. All you see is teeth lighting up. You know what I'm saying? And you got white guy. Look like a nerd, look like a nerd. And she's like, oh, well, yes. Next time, use these right here, or your girlfriend, your wife will be happy, And I'm saying to myself, this is what they do. Every commercial on TV. You think this is done by accident? No, they want to tear down the fabric of what we are. You tear down Black America. You tear down the standards of who we are as a race. You trivialize your existence. They'll make you lose your mind. No, we're black, and their boundaries. Now, if you want to go across the boundaries, right, and date, fine. There's consequences for that, But they want to make it seem like, oh, this race thing is all in your mind. There's no black and white. There's no differences. There's no male or female. Just like Barack Obama, he wasn't male, he wasn't female, he wasn't black, he wasn't white. He was Barack Obama. Think about it. Like I said, I have to apologize to Obama right, publicly, right, because I thought he was the Antichrist, right, and I realized that the Antichrist really is Biden. It was like I said in my Godfather's voice, it was Biden all along. You know, remember Godfather? It was Barzini all along. It was Biden all along. Biden is a freaking devil himself. You know, no male, no female, no black, no right. There's no good. There's no boundaries. There's no purpose. When you have a country that has no purpose, no no way, or no restrictions, anything goes and whatnot, you're looking at a false civilization. And the false civilization is defined by there's rampant sexuality, there's homosexuality, men will lay with men will lay with their daughters, men will lay with men, and all this stuff like this, and celebrating. That's when you know you're on the throes of the death of a civilization. And what happens when America collapses and everything, where the heck are we going to have? That's why we're building our ties with Africa, right? Because we see this coming, right? We're letting Africans know, hey, we're still part of the continent. We're building with y'all and everything, and stuff like this, you know? And so the bottom line is this is what we're building, you know? All this other nonsense and everything, we know it's long-term. But we started something 3 years ago. I've been at this for many years, but on Search for Uhuru, we started this 3 years ago, and it's not going anyplace, you know? And the bottom line is this main thing is what we want to export to the continent is our best. We want a moral compass, you know? People who are doing the right thing when they go to the continent, you know? People who are trying to marry into the African continent. People trying to, men and women getting together and building families. That's what the future is about, you know? All this nonsense and everything. Now, if you think that you're going to party and all this stuff in America, go right ahead. Party till it all collapses down. But those of us who are thinking about the future, who are serious about this and whatnot, we got work to do. You know, we got work to do. You know, we really got serious work to do. Yeah, Africa is falling. America's falling. Africa's rising. Because one thing I saw when I was on the continent, is I see more churches and mosques in Liberia, right? I seen people just orderly. I seen people listen to good music. I seen people just having a good time. Have nothing. They have nothing compared to what we have in America. They ain't got no stimulus check coming. But these people out there, women out there on the side of the road selling their fish to feed their kids and everything, and you see kids smiling and laughing and everything with nothing. But you got black people in America who are spoiled. They're entitled. Forget the stimmy. Send me my reparations check. You know, nigga, you ain't getting no reparations check. I wouldn't give shit to you Negroes, you know? You dusty Negroes sitting out waiting for a dang reparations check. You ain't getting nothing, you know?
Hey, God, we got a caller.
Okay, brother, Black Nation. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in. I know you guys are talking about the fall of America. I'm still talking about our community, like the Black community. I think that Black community, I always on my spare time, I always sometimes look at the maps on Google and I'll be looking at like what island can African Americans have? What island can, because you know in the Middle East they make their own islands, right? So
bro, go to Africa, bro. You got a whole
but I feel like still we can go to Africa, but still though that's their land still, so they still have a safe.
No, bro. It's
no.
our land. Bro,
I'm not saying it's not our land, but we can't just go over there and demand. That's our no.
Yeah, you can. Bro, you can go to Africa, get any country.
I said we can, but we really can't go over there and demand it because even over there even when we go to Ghana, they have their land, they have their laws, they have what they gonna give you, and they have their standards, what they gonna do.
I agree.
So what I'm saying is, why not just be as a people?
That's just one.
Like Akon is over there building his own city, and we need to establish our own city.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you about Akon City. Right. First of all, the idea of a city state in Africa came from me, the BAIO. I documented that. You know, Mr. Rosenthal went to Zimbabwe in 2017, end of 2018. Right. Met with Mugabe. I got the documentation. Met with Mugabe. I had a proposal for a city-state called an African and in Angola, but he took the idea to Zimbabwe and Zambia. He met with Mugabe and he met with Dr. Arikana and whatnot. She started calling, and the movie Black Panther came out. She started calling it Wakanda City and everything like that. So that they took it and ran with it. Akon gets a hold to the thing, and so next thing you know, he's building a so-called city, which basically is not owned by black people, right? You know, it's gonna be owned by Chinese and everything. You have no. He said you don't have to pay taxes, but the bottom line is, if we build a city state with our nation state, man, we of course you're gonna have a tax base because that makes sure that you control the country, right? If someone tells you come over here, you don't have to pay taxes, that means they own everything. You can have no rights, you have no say so. Now, now that's one thing, but I'm saying this though, there's plenty of places. Ghana is just one country.
All right, okay.
Go to the next country, and they'll be like, "Hey, look, so what? Yeah, you can have the land or whatever like that."
Okay,
but
let me ask you two more questions, then I'm gonna be finished. Okay, that and what else I was gonna ask? So, what do you think about the unification of the black diaspora, the first black diaspora, meaning the slaves that left Africa during the slave trade, like all the island nations and including us? Do you think we should unite and get our own land? You think that would be enough?
Well, but I look, it's like this. First thing to do, yeah, that's a good idea, right? But first of all, we have to show value to Africa, right? We have to show value. You can't just say we want land. I want land, right? There's black people in America getting land in Africa, not doing nothing with it. They got no capital. They have no way of coordinating. So land is not anything. What we need to do is, how about establishing the first diaspora bank on the continent? Think about that. I mean, if you have what's that sense of having land if you can't have assets and back it? That's how wealth is created. You have to have land, right? And you have to use that land as real estate and as collateral. You mean you control the commerce, you control the taxation, you control all stuff like that, and you can build infrastructure on that land. If you can't build infrastructure, the means of infrastructure, how you build infrastructure is you have a municipal bond. Let's say you raise $500 million for your initial infrastructure, right? That's going to build your roads, everything like that, right? Everything like that, right? And how you pay that bond back is when you start selling real estate to selling property to real estate developers, and basically you start taxing property. You tax goods and services, imports, exports, whatever like that, and that's how you service the bond. You service the bond. Then once your bond rating is good, people will you can extend more credit. That's how city states are built. But the main thing is you cannot sit there and just say I want land, but not have a contingency. Everybody can get land. You can go to any part of Africa and they'll give you land, right? If you're going to pay for it or whatever like that. But how to develop it and stuff like that is another story.
And how do you okay? And I got one more question. This guy, now this is off subject, but this is the last one. The guy that's over there I know you don't worry about people that's probably online and stuff, but the guy named Unapologetic Negro, whatever his name.
No.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna go ahead, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because okay, all right.
Yeah, no.
Lies lying.
Okay, but anyway, we'll move on. Any other questions, bro?
I just feel like it's good to go to the continent, and I'm not against that. But I just feel like it's too many people, it's too many other nations that got their hands on Africa, and we really don't have nothing on Africa. We don't have an army, so at the end of the day, the Chinese can take Africa just like that. They take the mountains over there.
Bro, we gotta go. I can't take it today.
No,
stop with the go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Yeah. Here we go with the Chinese Thanos, the white man's Thanos, the Chinese Thanos. I just can't take it today. I can't take it today. All right, go ahead,
Linus. Both of you are familiar with Amos Wilson, right?
Correct.
And do you know the cornerstone of his argument was that we have to change the culture? You're talking about, you're trying to tell, like, you give an example of Africa. Let's give an example of Sierra Leone. I heard you were living in. Where's the tax base from there? Where are they going to get all this revenue? The people in the country are not paying into it.
Go ahead, continue. Go ahead.
But anyway, so what I think is the major problem is that we don't even have a definition of who is black. Do you believe, Khaled, do you believe that Beyonce is a black woman?
Well, she's look at her father and look at her mother. I would say so. Why?
Her mother looks like a black female.
Well, the bottom line, dude, man, let's stop this nonsense, man. I'm saying so in other words, basically, you one of these guys you don't believe. You want to trivialize being black. Her roots.
I'm not trivializing. I think you are by calling everybody black.
She's an African woman. She naps. When you see Beyonce when she's on stage and everything, and them naps be coming through that head and whatnot, you know, despite all that makeup, when that makeup fades, and you see them naps, yeah, she's a black woman, bro.
I can't even. You're being emphatic about something that's not true.
Yo, Beyonce, right, and her daughter got nappy heads.
What does that have to do? Does she have all the traits of a black person?
Bro, she is a black woman, bro. You know
she's not a black female.
She's not a
her
black
mother is a multiracial female. Her father married her. She's a multi-generational, multiracial female.
Get this clown out of here.
But anything else you want to add, bro?
If you don't want to deal with the facts, nothing's going to change.
You're dealing with foolishness. You want to be white.
I'm dealing with foolishness. This is genetics.
You want to talk this mixed race? Bro, get out of here, man. With that,
you have no argument. You have no argument. That's basically
Beyonce's black. I've never.
No, she's not black.
I'll say she's
take
not
care.
White.
Take care. Live in your delusion. She's not black.
We're delusional, but yeah, he's coming on our platform. Okay. We're delusional. You know, stupid motherfuckers like this. You know, he's probably a white guy too. She's not black. When these guys have a fetish for light-skinned black women, you know, that's another thing that's going on. They're trying to basically when somebody black is like exotic, whatever, like that, they want to de-Africanize them, right? Delegitimize Africa. Beyonce is like, I'm black, I'm a black woman, and this and her family's black, her father's black, her mother's black, and everything like that. She's not mixed race and everything. All African Americans have European lineage, you know, have some sort of European lineage. I got some, you know, but I consider myself African 100%. That's my bloodline, you know. So the bottom line is that she's no different than any other black woman, you know, whatever, you know. What up, brother?
Go ahead, bro.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Yo, lift my spirits up a little bit, man. We just had a clown on the line.
Man, I heard it, man. And you know what? I'm sitting there listening to that, and all those people that sit there and bring up all that stuff like that, the only thing they doing is getting away from the real point. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all sitting there, y'all coming up with ways that we could better ourselves, try to go to the continent, build up the continent, you know. And I'm listening to the other brother before that, and I understand what he's saying about going there and not demanding stuff. But at the end of the day, we black. That's our home.
Right.
You feel me? We don't have to go to demanding and trying to change everything and, you know, being assholes or whatnot. We go there, we try to build up, we try to work with our people that's already there. Yeah, it's gonna be cultural barriers because of what these Europeans have done. But we don't need to go there, you know what I'm saying, and try to demand this and demand that. That's not what y'all saying, and I understand that. But he also stated something about going down somewhere else and, you know, building an island or whatnot. I think it was Marcus Garvey that said it, like, why would you give up an island for a continent? We got a whole continent. Fuck them Chinese. Fuck all them people over there that think they gonna stop us from coming over there. That's our home.
That's our home. It's manifest destiny, brother. You know? King Nick, thanks for the super chat, brother. You know, thanks. This is what I'm talking about. Hey, bro, let me say something. And another thing is, damn, I keep losing my train of thought. When people say, okay, go to Africa like that. When I was in Liberia, right? It was almost like, I didn't have to say when we get the land. People were like, yo, here's 100 acres over here. Yeah. Just like, they were like, yo, welcome home. In this, I was like, this land, I'm gonna write my book on that, my spiritual Liberia. In this land, I'm a king, you know. In this land, basically, I felt like that. I didn't have to worry about that. I just felt like when I get ready in a time when this country's mine, and everybody there treated me like this is yours, your home. You don't have to worry about that, right? Now, we want to build communities. They want that. You know, they would love to have African Americans build communities on their soil, build cities and towns. They would love that. If you got African Americans opening banks and building industrial infrastructure, they benefit. You know, we could put two and two together. We bet they benefit. Yeah. So whenever we talk about an Afristan, when I talk about it could be Afristan, could be a town, it could be a city, it could be a city state, it could be a nation state, right? Whatever the situation is, the main thing is We need to build communities on the continent. Why? Because we can build our hospitals, we can build our infrastructure and all stuff like that. And then the local community benefits, right? Because we're going to be injecting billions of dollars into the continent. Right now, the billions of dollars we generate every year goes right back into America, right?
Yeah, Jordan, all that shit there. That's where it go.
Right. So what if we were basically investing in Africa?
Exactly. We a $2 trillion people and still ain't did shit with it. We richer than
they keep us bound here in America like slaves. We're still slaves. America. They take out. We're a big cash cow for them. They bleed us dry and everything like that, and they have no intention of giving up. You think one day they're gonna say, you know something, y'all make $2 trillion. Go ahead. No, they're gonna make sure that no matter what, they're gonna put doubt in our heads that we could never build in Africa. They're gonna try to do something like this, that you're not really black and whatnot. Beyonce's not. You're not black. So you got the weak people like, maybe I ain't really black. Maybe I'm a copper-colored indigenous from Moe Island. You know. Yeah,
talking about like I said, shit like that. Talking about who's black and who's not. And look, back in the day, them white people ain't care if you had what, 1 drop of blood. That's what they used to say. 1 drop of blood, you black. Now we sitting there trying to find every reason not to be black. Yeah. That shit don't make no sense.
Check us out. In Spring Valley, Spring Valley, New York, right? In 1919, I believe it was. Port Jervis, New York, right? And you can go to Port Jervis, New York. It's right there on the Delaware River. It's a little port city, right? And I used to go there all the time because I live in upstate New York. And it's a small city, but I always know there was a feeling there when I used to go there, right? And then, like I said, when years later, I found out about a lynching that happened in Port Jervis. You think people up in New York were safe, right? There was a black man. He was like mixed race, whatever, like that. Something happened, right? And a mob gathered, right? And killed this man in cold blood in the middle of the street. A lynch mob lynched him in the middle of the street for nothing. It was just over arguments on him. A crowd gathered, killed him, right? But that murder still hangs over that city of Port Jervis, New York, to this day. People still talk about it, right? Oh yeah, like that, And it's years later, the city, they try to commemorate something to commemorate this guy and whatnot. But what I'm saying is, this guy basically was a real light-skinned black man and whatnot. We got one drop, but it didn't matter, when it comes down to it. And that's the difference between African Americans and everybody else. We know no matter what your skin tone is in this country or not, you are black, and that's been drilled into us. We're part of the black African race, They see your skin, nose, and your hair. You're African,
They don't see your religion, your skin tone. They don't care if you're married to a white girl. They don't give a shit. You black, you're black. You get pulled over by the police, he ain't gonna ask you if you ADOS. He ain't gonna ask you if you Pan African. You a nigga till proven
otherwise. They don't care about none of that. They don't care about none of that. You're black, and the bottom line, they don't care. If you could be playing Christian music games in your car, you could be like this. I'm like, well, I'm gonna play Christian. I'm gonna be one of the good Negroes when that cop pull you out, bust you upside the head just like anybody else. I'm gonna play it good. I'm gonna wear a suit and tie. It
don't matter.
It don't mean shit, in this country, man. And that's what we know. But so we have these trolls that are attacking us, right? Attacking us, come here. Well, define who's black. When somebody says that, right? What they're trying to do is play mind games, right? Our experience. Let me give you an example. Every black person, right? Whether you agree with what happened to George Floyd or not, right? Every last single black person was like, that struck me. When Stanley Crutcher was blown away in Oklahoma, right? If you're a black man, you're just like, oh, when you heard about Trayvon Martin, right? There is something about being black, right? Now, if you every black person, right, no matter what your persuasion is, right, have a sort of negative encounter with the police. At the same time, white people, right, their own polls say 99% of them support the police. Like in all cases, they're most likely to give police benefit of the doubt. So basically, how can you say Beyonce, or is she black or whatnot? Well, what does she think about the police? Well, but it's probably gonna be in line with the rest of the black people, right? But suddenly she's not black. So in other words, you can't benefit from being black, right? But you can suffer. But Beyonce is not black. What's wrong with why is she black? Well, she don't look 100% black, whatever, like that. Well, what's the fine? When we try to unite among ourselves, suddenly you got this move the goalposts and say, oh, you're not really black, Now there's some black people who be like, okay, maybe I'm not really black, but I do believe. But what they don't like is the fact that Beyonce made a video called "Black is King," right? And that was really black. And they get their little African surrogates to get in there and like try to say misappropriate that. But that was a powerful tribute to Africa, you know.
Yep.
And Beyonce basically is very, very, very pro-African and stuff like that. You know, that's all.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me.
Her mother is Creole. Okay, I'm from
Her
Louisiana.
mother Creole. Yeah.
I'm from Louisiana. They got people down there that if you look at them, you wouldn't be able to tell if they black or white. But you hear them and they black. And not only I'm black, they'll tell you as a matter of fact, don't ever disrespect me and tell me I'm not black.
Yeah,
So,
my great grandfather was a Creole. My great grandfather was a light skinned Creole dude.
Yeah,
you know, when you listen to that voice, you could tell it's a black man. You know,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're black. You know,
yeah, they very like
yeah.
don't get it twisted. I might be like black. You did, but man, I just wanted to call. I mean, because I couldn't listen to that bullshit no more, man. But y'all,
I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, brother.
All right, bro. We appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you for picking up my spirits, man. Thank you for.
Oh yeah, for sure, brother.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right, peace. All right, last caller, Nappy Yankee. Go ahead.
Peace, y'all. Can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
All right then. I just had like one question for you, Dynas, and I just want to touch on the whole the other thing that regarding blackness. But my question is this: I know that Africa is a big continent. I know that you haven't been to every end of the continent, but one thing that I've noticed when I travel to other countries as opposed to America, the difference is the convenience. Like in America, obviously, there's a supermarket on every corner. You understand? There's places you can go. And when you go to other countries, depending on where you go, that might not be the case. Like my whole family's from Jamaica. If I could, I would move down to Jamaica, right now and live down there. But the difference down there, it's not convenient like America. Okay, so my question is, what parts of Africa?
Hold on. When you say convenient, what do you mean? You said supermarket. I mean, why go to supermarket?
Just access. What I mean is like access to certain. Obviously, they have supermarkets out in Africa. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. No.
But my thing is, why would I want to go to a supermarket when I could go get? They have the fruit and vegetable and meat vendors on the street.
I just use that. I just use that as an example. Like again, maybe I'm like looking at it from a lens of some of the places that I've been. So. It could be a supermarket, it could be a pmarcy, it can be, maybe it's just when you go over there, it's just different how they work. But
they got pharmacies. I mean,
I know. Look, I'm not saying they don't have pharmacies. I'm just talking about the access right away to certain things that America seems to have. Maybe because
let me say this, Nappy Yankee.
Yeah.
Now, when I was in Liberia, right? You know what I felt like? I felt like, except for the data on the internet and everything like that, I felt like I was in, let's say, 1992.
Okay. Right.
I felt like it was in 1992. But the main thing is this: long as you have paved roads, you have electricity, the basics and everything like that, right? You're not going to have Uber Eats. You're not. Gonna have
you understand? You get, and I'm not saying that Africa has nothing.
But I can live with that. Those are the things.
Okay.
All
right. I'm not saying Africa has nothing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to say you live here, you get used to the access and the convenience. I'm just wondering what adjustments, you have when you go out to there and what countries have the most.
I just know when I was in Africa, if I caught a head cold, I had got medicine from the pharmacy immediately. Okay. I was hungry. I wanted some food. There was ladies on the side of the street selling food, fresh fruits, vegetables, everything. So I had access to all that.
Okay, just hoping you guys understand the question. Now, just quickly to the whole, who is and who isn't black. I know that some people take that to the extreme, but I think that's an important conversation because there are people out there that are literally hijacking our blackness. Case in point, Prince Harry and Meghan, it made me crazy listening to someone. It was actually Umar who said it, that said that they have a black kid and she's black when the fact is the kid is white.
That's a different case. That's a different case.
But this is the issue with having, I think that's something where we have to control. I can understand, with the Beyonce or somebody who's on the in the middle. but something like that, or watching Kamala literally pirate our blackness. That's an issue.
Let me say something, brother. Now,
Go.
the whole thing is this, right? You gotta understand something.
Mm-hmm.
What I said at the a little while ago in the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said black people are so beaten down.
Right.
We look for it here. So when somebody comes and say they had these little black girl looking at the shadow of Kamala and they're gonna walk in her shadow one night, you know, and they have this black girl married to Tamika Mallory. The people who are manipulating this, right? Like I said earlier, these people want to basically trivialize who we are because we haven't defined. We know, like you can listen to a show like this right here. We'll tell you we're black. Kamala Harris is not a black African American woman, right? She's not a black.
But she is being promoted like that globally.
But the thing is, that's the media. The media now call her a woman of color. They don't call her African American more, you know, because of the backlash. She's a woman of color, you know.
Which is another problem. Go on.
So my point I'm trying to make is this, though, right? What we have to do is basically the only way we could save ourselves, right, is this alliance that because people who think like that, right, have no desire to connect back with Africa and build with Africa, you know. And bottom line is our Pan-African movement and our building up bridges with Africa and everything. Those type of black people want nothing to do with the continent. They don't identify everything. That's how you could tell your African roots, you know, your Africanness and your love of Africa is going to tell you your blackness. Kamala Harris don't do it. Meghan Markle doesn't do it. She's a freaking white, you know. So the bottom line is, if that is our barometer of how we judge thing, that's what we should go by. Does she have any African plan? I remember they was talking about her and Harry talking about going to Angola. But Angola said, "We don't want y'all." When they was in the house, Angola's like, "Get the fuck out of here. We went through all this trouble to get rid of the Portuguese. What the hell we want British royalty for?" And so I think that's one of the reasons why they quit the royal family, because nobody look, man. The bottom line is this.
And she, by the way, just not to cut you off, she didn't even identify herself as black until she got in trouble. Until they said, listen, you're a Negro just like the rest of them. She didn't identify as black. See, so that's the issue. You have to. I understand, you know, what you're saying to take it to the extreme, but there are people with whether it's Kamala, whether it's her, there's others out there, and you know, let's face it, she, you know, her kid is probably going to marry white, but people are still going to call her black. That's the type of
look at Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. I'm looking at her and her husband, some fat white Jewish guy, and her sons and daughters like white
and two white stepkids.
Oh, thank God, man. I thought those were her kids, man. Jeez. I was like, man, these kids have no freaking color in them. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, glad you told me that. But I'm saying to myself, this is how super fair. You know when it all started? This all started with Barack Obama. You know?
I know it did.
It all started with Barack Obama, right?
Who's a mulatto, by the way. Now, again, that's important.
Right. We were so willing to embrace, even though now Barack Obama was mixed race, and let's say his father was African American, his mother was white. That's another thing, right? But his father was Kenyan, right? Wasn't even a boy's life, right? And basically, we were so, and I love my people, right? Because I know a lot of black people, they just want to see a black family in the White House. Remember something? That's a major. Now we're like, we don't care, you know. That's a good thing, right? Because we got over that whole having a black family in the White House. You know, I think it was a wrong black family White House. But now we can say, okay, we reached the plateau, right? Now, Black America, what is that? You put a black family in the White House, right? Then we're going, we got to put a real black. No, that's done. You put that black. Now is the road to nationhood, the road to building Africa. Now we want to see. I want to see an African American in African as a. Have we ever had an African American go to Africa and hold public office after leaving America? No, but there's a lot of Africans that come here that come to America and hold public office. That needs to change. You know, why can't we hold public office on that? If you're not going to let us hold public office, then this idea of having our own states and inside countries or on complete sovereign territory is on the table, because we have to have manifest destiny, right? We can't tell African Americans come to Africa, but you'll never hold office. You'll never be a politician. You know, it has to be everything on the table. So those things, and that's a conundrum. That answers a riddle. When the dude, Black Nation said, we need I get that, you know, but those are things that have to work out. You know, okay, you say you want to come here in Ghana, but I can't vote. I can't hold taxes. I can't participate in politics and everything. So what are you going to do? So the answer would be, well, we got to build our own shit, you know, and with that goes, like I said, the bottom line, when you have, wherever there's a will is a way. If now they say, okay, you could build your own cities and everything, you can govern your own cities inside our territories. That's another option, right? But the idea that we could come over there and not have any voice or political power, that's not going to happen. You know,
now you did say, and I don't mean to cut you off, you did mention about you never had African Americans go over there and I guess run for public office. But can you guys explain to me what happened when Jesse Jackson went over to Liberia? I mean, what was that? Just what was that? I mean, couldn't he have sparked something to get us to go over there?
No, check this out. This is what Andrew Young went in 1980.
Right.
1980,
Right.
and he went over there, and because he wasn't treated like the mulatto prince and civil rights, and they basically say, "Look, man, we've been running the country here for 200 years. Why you coming over here trying to tell us what to do?" And because he wasn't chauffeured and whatever, he started making. He knew that the whole thing. This how fragile Liberia was, right? Andrew Young knew that there was a growing anti-Liberian sentiment in the Ford administration and the thing, right? They knew that. You know, he knew that. You know, so he basically, this country is a kleptocracy, and what that did was, it basically told these indigenous people, now it's our chance to get rid of them. The Black American come over here. They don't like these Congo people, American Liberians, whatever they call them. And so now it's our chance. So they began reaching out to CIA operatives and everything to put the plan in places to overthrow the true Whig party in Liberia, you know? And with that, you know, that's exactly what happened. And so Andrew Young's like, oh yeah, these guys are Uncle Tom. But the bottom line is this: how could he say that when Liberia was a place where all the independence moves were brokered in Africa? Liberia was brokering the Lancaster Agreement coming up before the coup happened. Liberia basically was brokering which led to the 10 years later to the President Njumo in Namibia becoming president. All that was brokered by Liberia. Liberia was very active. Liberia was supposed to be was the head of the OAU, you know, and all stuff like that. But when a Black American goes to Africa, right, you better come back with a report saying, well, whoever's paying you, and all these people like Jesse Jackson, Andrew Young, are being paid by somebody, and they got to deliver. And so when you hear Jesse Jackson say, "Oh, Jesse Jackson," like Charles Taylor did nothing to Jesse Jackson. Charles Taylor did not want the oil companies off his coast drilling. Charles Taylor said no. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to do it. And so basically Jesse Jackson went over. He went over there, and Charles Taylor his people show up at the Million Man March. You know, come over, build one out. Jesse Jackson, show me anywhere where Jesse Jackson ever built anything. He shows up, the media says, oh, Jesse Jackson, right? And basically he has all this power because why? He marched with Martin Luther King. All you have to do to get rich in America, right, is hang next to the nearest Black civil rights icon, wait till he gets assassinated, right? And then go around and basically show I was with Dr. Such and such, right? You get invited on book tours, you get invited to speeches and everything, and you haven't did nothing. Show me what Jesse Jackson never did. Nothing. Rainbow Push. Stuff like that. How do you organize that? Well, I was with Dr. King. I was with Dr. King. From what I hear, him and Dr. King didn't get along because he was jealous of Dr. King, you know?
Who else was there when Dr. King got killed? It was
Abernathy. Who was it? Abernathy.
Who's the she's on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. His granddaughter.
Oh, wait, that chick, God, her name doesn't Portia something, but her grandfather. I don't watch that, but I'm just
but her grandfather hated Jesse Jackson. In fact, said that Jesse Jackson. So I guess when Jesse Jackson was there when Dr. King got assassinated, said that Jesse Jackson, I guess, took blood from Dr. King.
Oh yeah, put it on the shirt.
No, that's true.
Yeah, and
put it on his shirt.
Yeah,
wore it 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Flew to Chicago with the shirt. They had a press conference with the shirt with the blood on it.
Yeah, he went there with blood on it.
Yeah. Hosea Williams.
Oh,
Hosea
Williams. Yeah, Hosea. Yeah.
Now let me just say this, and then I'll let you guys go. I think that if you're going to move to Africa, you got to go there with some skill. I'm assuming that the people, and I'm assuming that people in Africa don't want a bunch of people just to go over there and fill up space. You got to go there with some skill.
They like I say, when I look at my brothers in Liberia, they're like, ain't nothing but going on but the rent. You better come up with a plan, right? And if you come here with money and want to invest, they're all ears.
Right.
You know,
I'm in the tech field, so I would take that with me. And also, again, I'm just based on what you're saying, and I want to just stress this. I'm not saying that Africa has nothing or no accruements. Again, because America has so much
you'd be
excess,
surprised
kind of
brother,
used to.
how much really modernization is Africa. Not all of it. The right spots in different places. Like in Liberia, there's parts of
Right.
Liberia you would think you was in New York City. You know?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So just when you go over there, I'm assuming you want to you're thinking about living a simpler life than you live out here, correct?
You know, I'm not gonna have everything I have in America. I know that. You know, I'm not
Right.
gonna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'm not
I
looking
can't
for
order pizza. I know I
Starbucks
can't
and
order pizza. You know,
Right.
Pizza Hut. I'm not. Yeah, I could care less about that stuff.
That was my question. All right, y'all. Well, thanks again and for giving me the time.
All right, brother.
All right, for sure. All right, peace.
Peace.
All right, last caller. We got one more caller, King Justice. So let's see here. King Justice, go ahead.
Peace, G. I really just got two questions just for some clarity. This really based off that first caller for caller. So I mean, we know where the fall of America and all of that come from. So like a nation for black people in America, that's completely out your mind, right?
Yeah.
All right. How you
In
feel
America,
about
inside the border, inside anywhere in the Western Hemisphere. Let me give you an example. Let me say something, brother King Justice. Let me say something, right? Let me say something. Listen
Go ahead, G.
Listen very carefully, right? There's a doctrine that came out in the early 1800s called the Monroe Doctrine, which still affects us to this day, right?
For
You
sure.
ever heard the Monroe Doctrine?
Yeah.
Okay, and then they had the Roosevelt corollary to the Monroe Doctrine decades later, right? Teddy Roosevelt, right? The Monroe Doctrine was the United States was becoming a world power, you know, in
Manifest destiny, man.
right? So basically, it said any country, Western power making any moves in the Western Hemisphere will see it as a provocation to the United States. That prelude the fact that Spain and all these people had to withdraw, really, for the most part, the Western Hemisphere. The United States basically saw any sort of threat, you know, to a coast. America has the most secure coastline. The only thing unsecured about America is its border with Mexico, you know, but its coastline, everything like that were secured, right? So basically, what you have in all these countries in America influences all these countries in Central America and the Caribbean, right? The United States, right, should be the United States and Cuba should have a trade going like China and Japan. China and Japan hate each other, but they got $300 billion worth of industry going back and forth, right? The biggest economies in the world are in Asia, right? Korea, China, Hong Kong, Singapore, also like that. Like this. Look what America has, right? America has nothing but poverty in this area. Why? Because America is an adolescent country. It's like a bully. It feels threatened by anybody who's out there working out. You see a guy working out like a bully. He sees somebody out there working out, whatever like that. He's gonna beat him down before he. You think that's a threat? America is the reason why we have cartel. We don't have a strong government in Mexico, and we got cartels running the show. That's what you have right now. All this is coming out. Central America, all these banana republics thing. People don't realize that the Colombia used to control that Panama, right? The United States created a fake movement in Panama, right? Even came and said it was black liberation, right?
Right.
So black will be liberated. So because they wanted access to the Panama Canal, so they had a coup, right? And they installed a new government and created the state of Panama, right? And they said, okay, now let's go build the Panama Canal. So therefore, when you got all this, how are you going to build anything in this hemisphere? America is not going to give up any sort of power in the hemisphere. The only thing place we could build a nation state, anything, is on the African continent, or away from that, because America, for the most part, really doesn't have any sort of sovereignty or really interest in Africa. You know, they really don't. You know, America always left Africa to the Belgium, the Dutch, and everybody. And these countries are getting weak. These countries are getting weak by the day, you know, and so they can't hold on to Africa anymore. That's why there's this threat against African Americans coming to the continent, or even African American in social media. The fact that we conversating and talking about Africa is a threat because they can't.
Now, we do need we need our own platforms,
Yeah, so they don't see. The bottom line is Africans. This is another thing, right? My brother was talking about the data. There's a data issue in Africa. We need to get more infrastructure so Africans can have the same data capability, because African Americans, diaspora, are dominating the conversation. Africans don't have the data. Data. I would say the data. Like, I got the data. But Africans will go to Vet Carnell says, "Go give us some. The data."
It's gonna take those with that master that technology information to go over.
Bottom Africans have all that, but the data is so expensive and everything, so they can't do platforms like this on a regular basis. You know, they can do Facebook and everything, but platforms like this and the blogging and stuff like that is really controlled by black people from the UK and America. And so the more, so Africans are reading, they get most of this stuff about what's going on in the Pan-African world from these platforms. O'Shea, Black to Africa, and several other people and stuff like that. The Diaspora Channel and stuff like that. Well, that's what's dominant combination. That right there is very powerful because the Europeans, the people who normally had control over Africa through the voice of the BBC and also like that, is now being challenged. You know, is now being challenged. So therefore, like I said, it's a new day. Africa's a big continent, man. Don't be scared, bro. You know,
for sure. Nah, it ain't about being scared. It's just these ideologies we got over here in America. You know what I'm saying? We be married to them. So it's like if you come from either nation or you a nationalist, you fighting for that land over here. But sometimes that shit just feel like a lost cause.
Over here in America, I don't understand. See, like I said, the whole thing is this. Now, I'm not going to call everybody who fights for America a Captain America Negro, which a lot of them are Captain America Negroes, right?
What you mean, brother?
Hold on, let me say something. Now, this is what I always do, right? When I'm in America, when you're in America, do as Americans do. I go around, I'll go out to a bar, shoot some COVID, shoot some pool, enjoy everything. I'll watch a sports game and everything, right? But in the back of my mind is my Africa plan,
For sure.
Make your money in America, get your skills up, right? And look to invest on the continent. The same way the Jews. You think the Jews really care about what going on in their so-called community? They don't care. I've been around Jews, right? Everything about them is what's going on in Israel. What you have to do is pick an African country, right? That that you like. It could be any country. You could like the women over there. Oh, I like these women over there. Pick an African country. And say, something, I want to know more about this country, right? Yeah, I want to buy some property over there, right? And while you're building your career here in America, right? You say, one day I'm going to buy a house over there, so I'm going to spend some summers over there. I might invest in a business over there. If more of us start doing stuff like that, you'd be surprised how the game will change. Because there's so many African Americans going back and forth to the continent right now. But it gets me is the mainstream media won't acknowledge this. They won't acknowledge this. Why? Because they want to see us as this people, as is stuck in America and everything like that. We're not like that. We're becoming a global people. It's not just Africa. You got African Americans in Dubai. You got them in Europe. You got African Americans in Russia. You got Africans in Beijing, China.
I've seen y'all like these last 3 months. I tapped into like Yo Channel, Dynas, Wody Meyer, Go Black to Africa. So people paying attention for sure.
Yeah, they are. We are. So the bottom line is, the whole thing is this, man. People. This is not going to stop, man, because this is, like I said, this is nothing that just began. It was already there. All we're doing is harnessing the elements, right? We said where fire comes from. It's infinity. Infinity has no beginning. It has no end.
For sure. This is my last question. I call it unfinished business, really. So let me ask you this: is the unification, like from the Pan-African point of view, is that even on your mind, or are you just over there basically trying to build?
My whole thing. I've been doing this for so many years, right? I see a lot of people have their own ulterior motives. And the bottom line is, like I said, I have a social network. I have a group on the ground in every country. And my social network is growing, it's powerful, and stuff like that. I unify with like-minded people, I know there's a lot of people that have their own agendas. They're doing their own thing. And with social media, as soon as everybody, I'm going to get my own YouTube channel. Next thing you know, they start spouting off on their own YouTube channel. And that's what it ends up. Like I said, I don't have a YouTube channel, right? Why? Because if I had a YouTube channel, that's what Kyle would be, a YouTube channel. I don't want to have a YouTube channel. I just basically have a social network. I have a radio show, right, that I reach millions of people, once a week, and stuff like that. And so I put my message out there. I blog, and I'm on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. So basically all the people that I need, right, I'm connected with the right people. And they coming up fold and everything, and they're building. So, but this phony idea of unity, and you cannot do that on YouTube because this is how Negroes are, right? You could be vibing with somebody, right? Yeah, man, Hotep, Black Power or not. You say one thing they disagree with. One
Yeah.
thing. And
We just
all-
emotional. That's all it is. We not men no more. Like we
we're
really
not
just
men. We act
grown
like
little
girls.
boys.
Girl, that's girl
Yeah.
shit.
That's
bitch
all it
shit.
is, man.
You know what I'm saying? That's bitch shit, man. You can agree with somebody just having a good time, man. Yeah. And next thing you know, man, we're about to close the show. Oh, by the way, yeah, what did you say? Oh man,
Nah,
see,
for
I
sure,
knew
for
that
sure.
nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
See, Mo, it was the
Because
bottom line.
even with all you said, I'm not throwing my nationalist point of view out the window, but it's still peace, the dialogue. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking in the Jews. So
Yeah, so
people just gotta grow up, you man.
We could all vibe. And talk. Like I said, people don't agree with me. I could deal with people who basically don't agree with nationalism. We could talk about other things we agree on, you know. And
Right.
It's like you build with what you agree on, you know. And then
Right.
it's like you always build on what you got in common, right? And then you deal with or thing. That's how every other people survive, right? You look at white people, right? One across the street will be Biden Harris supporters. Right next door neighbor is the Trump supporters, right? They may have their disagreements, but basically when it's all over, they'll go back to grilling together. They'll go out there fishing and playing golf together, you know?
For sure.
But somehow
They know their family at the end of the day.
Yeah, so black people, why? Because they have things tangible. They got a lot to lose. They got a good job, they own a business and everything like that, you know? They're not gonna let their politics divide them because it's not important. But the bottom line is this: life goes on. Black people, we wrap everything. People who ain't got shit always got this. I covered this. That's all you got. Now, if you had things really going on, right, you wouldn't care what people think. Okay, I agree. Like me personally, I got things going on. You know, I got a business. I got this, that, and the other thing. I'm engaged to a beautiful woman in Africa. I'm going back
Too busy to care.
So bottom line is I don't really care what people think about me, you know?
Yeah,
and so therefore, but when you don't have nothing, right, you get triggered by every little thing. You know, people that got something and secure themselves don't get triggered by every little thing that people say. You know? Yeah, so people like that.
But hey, brother, we appreciate brother.
Hey man, y'all keep up the good work for sure, bro.
All right, brother.
All right, Colin, let's go ahead and close out, brother. Anything else you'd like to share in closing?
Oh, yeah, you can catch my show Wednesday nights at www.gangstavilleradio.com, right? We were at Gangsta with an A, villeradio.com. That's Wednesday nights, 11 o'clock Eastern time. That's where you get the raw College Genesis, right? You could, if you're really interested in linking up with us in Africa and Ghana and all these other places, Liberia, join our social network, which is, matter of fact, the app for my social network is going to be ready this week. You know, it's going to be ready this week. So it's going to be a mobile app with a social network and everything. It's going to be complete. And I'm not going to charge you for it. You know, there's not going to be no charge for it. So you join the app. It ain't going to be no fee. You know, like somebody, I ain't going to mention these names, but they charge you for a fee to join the app. No, join the Black African Infrastructure Social Network, right? Matter of fact, I'll wait till to tell you when the app is up so I can tell people to go to the Google Play or App Store to get it, right? That's a social network, and bottom line, we're trying to build that into the main platform. We're trying to replace Facebook and Twitter as far as the Pan. It's a site for nationalists and Pan-Africanists of all different spectrum and everything. You know, we want to make that the main place where social network where people are linking up and socializing and stuff like that. It works just like Facebook and everything, but it's Black owned. We don't share your data. Your data secured, all stuff like that. You know, so hopefully the app will be ready this week. The apps will be ready this week, and you could basically join and link up with all our people in Liberia and Ghana, South Africa. You can link up with Brother Bomani, you know, and our people in Tanzania and all over the world, Brazil, and all the BAL people all over the world and everything. So we got exciting things going on. And like I said, we just want people to come in and come together. It's all about love and hate and division and stuff like that. It's not how we do. So, but this is a long journey, 3 years to the day I first appeared on Search for Huru, you know, and it'll be many more years after that.
Yes, sir. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, family, Donnie Samir, Search for Huru. Peace.
Peace.